Good evening and welcome to Tuần-san News of the Week. My name is Emma Doe. In what's making headlines this week, Vietnam arrests another dissident, adding to this year's growing tally. A Vietnamese model and actress speaks out against Harvey Weinstein. And Gỏi cuốn and phở make it into the survey of the world's top 30 foods. In this week's top story, Vietnamese police have arrested a dissident accused of attempting to overthrow the government, adding to a tally of 16 other dissidents already arrested this year. According to the Communist state's official website, 41-year-old Tuần-san was arrested in the northern province of Hà Tĩnh on Tuesday. The website did not give details of the alleged crime, and it's not clear whether she has a lawyer. Despite sweeping economic reforms and growing openness to social change, the Communist Party tolerates little criticism. The crackdown on dissent follows changes in the ruling party hierarchy early last year, which gave greater influence to the security establishment. Floods in Vietnam last week killed 83 people and left 20 missing, with thousands of homes submerged or destroyed and several towns cut off. Reuters reports that the floods also damaged more than 22,000 hectares of rice, but did not hit the coffee belt in the south of the Central Highlands. Vietnam is the world's third largest exporter of rice and the second biggest producer of coffee. The Southeast Asian nation is prone to destructive storms and flooding due to its long coastline. A typhoon recently wreaked havoc across central provinces only last month. Meanwhile, a family in Vietnam's central province of Thanh Hóa has been fined for violating wildlife regulations after a video of their 3-year-old son riding a giant python in floodwaters went viral online. The video was posted on social media last Saturday, showing a giggling toddler straddling the enormous reptile as adults in the family were heard encouraging him to sit tight or lie down. The python was moving slowly in floodwater in what appears to be the family's front yard. Vietnamese news website VN Express reports that the python weighs around 50 kilograms and is more than 5 meters long. A former member of the Vietnamese parliament has been sentenced to life in prison for fraudulently pocketing $16 million in down payments from would-be homeowners. Before entering parliament, Tvts was the chairwoman of the private housing group company, which sold hundreds of off-the-plan apartments from 2009. But the apartment project was never licensed and the properties never built. Joel later served in Parliament between 2011 until 2015, when she was arrested on fraud charges and stripped of her post. The trial on Monday found her guilty and sentenced the 52-year-old to life in prison. The court ordered her to also repay the victims of the property scam. Vietnam is currently cleaning up its image, targeting executives and officials for mass incidents of fraud or corruption. But some analysts say the move is also about eliminating political rivals as much as it is about corruption. In one of the heaviest births ever reported in Vietnam, a mother has delivered a baby boy weighing a hefty 7.1 kilograms. The very large bundle of joy was born on Saturday to happy parents in the northern province of Vĩnh Phúc. Doctors reportedly informed mother Nguyễn Kim Liên earlier that her baby would weigh around 5 kilograms. It came as a shock when the baby boy was delivered weighing an extra 2 kilograms. On average, Vietnamese newborns weigh 3 kilos and reach about 7 kilos at the age of 6 months. A Vietnamese model and actress is the latest in a string of women to accuse Harvey Weinstein of sexual misconduct. In a Facebook post on Friday last week, Vũ Thu Phương disclosed her encounter with the film producer almost a decade ago. According to Vũ, she met with Weinstein in 2008 about being cast in a future role with his company. That happened after her part was eventually cut from a Weinstein production of Shanghai, a film which also starred John Cusack and Gong Li. Vũ says the meeting quickly became sexual when she saw Weinstein standing with only a towel around his waist. He then allegedly asked her if she was ready to take on a role involving sex scenes. The actress said she rejected his advances and cited the experience as one of the reasons she eventually left show business. Smoking rates in Vietnam have dropped 2% for men and women since last year. Compared to 2010, smoking rates across the country have declined even further, with only 59% of those surveyed now smoking at home, compared to 73% in 2010. The number of smokers who sought help to give up also increased from 29% at the start of the decade to 40% this year. Vietnam's public awareness around the risks of smoking and the importance of smoke-free environments has increased since 2013, when a law on prevention and control of tobacco harm was first set up. Despite the progress, Vietnam is still one of the top 15 countries with the highest rate of smokers, with around 40,000 people dying of smoking-related causes every year. More than 150 Vietnamese children who were placed in counselled care in the UK after being rescued from traffickers have reportedly disappeared amid fears that they are back under the control of slave masters. The Times newspaper reports that more than 150 Vietnamese minors have disappeared from care and foster homes since 2015, with almost 90 others going missing temporarily. One anti-child trafficking organisation called ECPAT UK said that its own research showed that 28% of all trafficked children in care went missing at least once, with Vietnamese children the most likely to escape. The organisation recently released an animated film on Anti-Slavery Day to educate viewers about the trafficking problem behind marijuana. The short film tells the story of a 15-year-old Vietnamese boy pressured into working abroad to support his family before landing in exploitative conditions in the UK. Vietnam consistently ranks as one of the top 3 source countries for potential victims of modern slavery in Britain, with data suggesting that just over half of these people are minors. Victims commonly end up in labour exploitation, often in cannabis cultivation and nail bars. Some are also sexually exploited. Regulators from the US state of Louisiana will pay a group of Vietnamese American nail salon owners more than $100,000 to settle a federal lawsuit. The lawsuit accused state officials and inspectors of discriminating against Vietnamese nail salons with frequent inspections and fines. The plaintiffs argued that inspectors targeted Asian American salon owners because of their race. They pointed to evidence showing that Vietnamese-owned businesses paid at least 80% of board-imposed fines each year, despite their businesses making up only 9% of the 7,500 state-regulated salons, which also include hair salons. Claims of racial bias were denied by the regulatory board members. The parties reached a settlement earlier in the year, but it wasn't until now that the sum of money was disclosed. The settlement proceeds went to 4 salon owners and their attorneys. Finally, some welcome news for Vietnamese food vendors. Vietnam's gai cuong and pho have landed in CNN's top 30 list of the world's best foods. The news network's online poll surveying more than 35,000 people has ranked gai cuong at number 30 and pho at 28. The entire list ranked 50 foods from around the world, including the UK's fish and chips at number 33, Indonesia's rendang at number 11, and Thailand's massaman curry in the top spot. Unusual mentions went out to popcorn, ranking 50, potato crisps at number 48, and donuts at the 14th spot. That's all from Tuần-san News of the Week. For more stories, you can follow Tuần-san at tvtsonline.com.au and Facebook at Tuần-san. I'm Emma Doe, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to your company at the same time next week.